All right, everyone, we're back on to Zoom. Time for question, answer, and discussion. We've had some very good, lively discussions, that's true. I was looking at you.
Because I forgot, I had some questions in my mind, and now I have forgotten after eating.
Distraction.
Is my standard. It's so perfect, we don't have another question.
The inner stability that you said, maybe you could just tell us some practical one method, one discipline, something that you could start.
What's the question, please?
What the question is?
For the inner stability, one practical method. One practical method for practice of inner stability or cultivate inner stability. It's not no easy method, but practicing detachment that gives a lot of inner stability, because it is attachment which is causing all the disturbance in the mind. If you don't have attachment, if you at least reduce the attachment, I won't say get rid of attachment immediately straight away, it won't happen, but reduce the attachment, then that much the mind will be calmer. And when you're calm, the mind is calm, it's not agitated too much, then you will be able to perform your daily duties, even whatever you're doing, in a better way, more efficiently. Because when the mind is disturbed, we are upset, angry, sad, whatever is the emotion, a lot of energy is simply wasted. And we have got only certain amount of energy. And if you're wasting energy, then that much less energy to put in the actual works, activities that you have to do.
I think if you're sad or angry and you're trying to detach from it, sometimes it creates this, the more you try to detach, the more you're resisting it, and it's this tug of war.
Now, detachment is not resisting that anger, or detachment from what you say, from the less attachment to the person or action,
Not the emotion.
not the emotion. Then you won't have that so much, the emotion won't be so strong. Even the anger or hatred or sadness won't be so strong. It will be there, but it won't be so strong. You'll be able to withstand that its power, its effect.
Yeah.
Like say somebody passes away, a death occurs, you have a close person close to you, you feel upset, you feel sad. But if you are practicing a little bit of detachment, you will be able to overcome within some days. Not that you will be weeping and mourning for on and on for a long time. Some people feel so upset that they get physically sick. But such things won't happen. In the case, we can see in the life of Sri Ramakrishna, his nephew passed away. A young man, he passed away at that time when Sri Ramakrishna was standing next to him. He didn't feel anything because he saw the soul leaving the body, and he was seeing how, like drawing a sword from the scab, from the sheath, the soul is leaving the body left there. And then he says the next day he felt so sad. This boy is dead. But then he continued because attachment is not there. But at the same time, we feel the sadness. When Swami Vivekananda, as a wandering monk, he was traveling in India, when he was in Benares, he got the news that one of the very close devotee, a household devotee, he passed away. He was sad. He was upset actually. Then his host, a great scholar, Sanskrit scholar, he was saying, why Swami, you are a monk. Why should you feel upset that this gentleman died? He's a householder. Then Swamiji said, what do you mean? Just because I became a monk, don't have feeling? He is a great devotee, a close friend. He passed away, I feel sad. But not that we will be overwhelmed by sadness. That's why, say, a little bit of detachment we try to practice.
Adelaide, just an example, and perhaps you could tell me whether in fact that's detachment and stability. I remember we gathered in my third son's house, and together with the in-laws, and we have a conversation. The garage door was open, and we said to driver, why do you keep the garage door open? And he turns around and says, why do I want to close it? And he said, but if the thief comes in and take all your tools away, what will you feel? And he turns around, obviously they need more than me. They need tools more than me. Let them have it. Is that detachment?
Well, no. No, it's not.
I think to all of us, we look in horror. Why
And it's,
why these thinkings like that? We said, it's our things. We attach all those things around us. And if thief comes steal it, won't you get angry? So why? Obviously, he needs more than
that is true. But that's not the way to reach that stage. That's not the way to reach the stage of detachment. We should have the power of attachment and detachment at the same time. We should be able to have attachment. We protect our goods, protect whatever we have to our possessions. But if somebody needs, come and ask for it, you give. That's different. But allowing the thief to come and take, that's not detachment. No, that's not detachment.
Or you're not attached to those. Those they mean as for specific purpose to be used. But if you're not using it, that's how you use it.
No, I think it's really not needed.
Bhanaji, with forgiveness, does you mentioned forgiveness with emotional attachment? Does forgiveness of actions of others and maybe even your own actions then help you to move on with what's necessary rather than still be held back by, be it an attachment to emotions?
Yeah, forgiveness will help you to go forward. Try to understand our own actions instead of criticizing ourselves. Why did I do that? Going on, harping on that, we did something wrong. But at that time, with my understanding at that time, I did that. Now I have got better understanding. I have evolved, I've grown up, so I have matured. So now I understand what I did was wrong. So don't have to be too harsh on yourself or on others. So that is then that in a sense of forgiveness, you'll be able to move forward.
But surely, I mean, for growth, for whatever growth that you're looking, you need to have a certain amount of attachment. Otherwise, you don't have growth.
Yeah, that's if you need attachment, we have to have attachment. We have to have the power of attachment and the power of detachment. That is Swami Vivekananda says. First time when he was in the south, in west, he was talking about detachment only, non-attachment. Second time when he was there, in his second visit, he spoke about be attached, and we should have the power of attachment as well as the power of detachment. If you want to, you have to grow, mature. As we studied, spoke about the mature ego, you should have a power of attachment. You should be attached. But then you should have the power of detachment also. Just one more second. Once when these young disciples came to Sri Ramakrishna one day. He asked Charath, whom do you love most? He said, I don't love anybody. He said, what sort of person are you? If you don't love anybody, how can you love God? Should have and how can you practice detachment? You should have attachment, only then you can practice detachment. If you don't have any faults, any shortcomings, how can you overcome them? A young man came to join the monastery. Swamiji asked, Swamiji looked at him and then he asked, can you tell a lie? Can you steal? He was horrified. No, I can't. Well, first go and learn to steal, learn to tell a lie. So immersed in tamas, don't even have the energy or power to tell a lie or do something evil. First, have something to overcome. Then only then you grow. If you think without doing anything, you think you have no shortcomings, no failures, no mistakes, then you don't grow. You have something to overcome. You have anger, then you work yourself and overcome that anger. That's why we need attachment and detachment. Then we can practice detachment. If there is no attachment, how can you practice detachment?
You need to experience.
You go through experience. Yeah. That is why as you go through life, you go through experiences, then you learn all these things.
Just continuing from Anjan's original question, actually, that talked earlier about anger, fear, and attachment. We just continuing that. On the intellectual front, it is quite logical, it is understandable, and a whole lot. No problem there. But it is the challenge is the ways to acquire, to achieve it. That is where at least personally I faltered. So is there any way, stepwise mechanism or progressive mechanism or some way that intellectuality can be practicalized into achieving what the actual goal is? That's where I think I need some help.
The practice of detachment,
Getting rid of attachment,
fear and anger. First, one thing we should say, we have to reason it out for to get over attachment. Every time you use your reasoning power, and then another one is pray to God to reduce my attachment. Because if you believe that God is all powerful, then God can help me to overcome my attachment. By my own strength, I'm not able to. I'm struggling. But if you sincerely struggle and then say, I'm struggling, but I'm not able to overcome my attachment, you sincerely pray, then you will get help from God. And also you reason out. Is this causing me too much attachment? Or use your reasoning and then prayer will help. And anger is temporary insanity. First we feel we are getting angry. Yes, it is. How do we say? I'm getting angry. So I and anger are different, separate. Then after some time, I am angry. I have become one with anger. And then once you get angry, once you have become anger, then you as Krishna says, you lose you are deluded, lose your memory, use your reasoning, you go down. So, but as you, and when in a state of anger, it's always good to stop before you utter something, say something. Once Gayatriprana Mataji, when she was in Trivandrum, before she came to Australia, one of her talks, she was telling in the class, when you get angry, before you say something, count 10. Then after a few days, one of the ladies came back and told Mataji, you have put me in real trouble. What happened? You said this in the class. And then after the 2 days later, she was scolding her child, 5-year-old. Did you count 10? So if you count 10, surely your anger will come down. That much gap will give you a break, and you won't be so upset. Anger has loosened its grip, a little of the grip on you. So you won't be uttering something which is going to hurt the person.
Well, Gayatriprana, we know when it comes to, say, meditation, the quality of your meditation is determined by what you're doing when you're not trying to meditate.
Yes.
And similarly, with these sort of emotions, I mean, the mind is so tricky. It's this ancient instinctive reaction we have with these strong emotions and outbursts. So how to, it seems you're going to have to try to find a way to be on an even keel gradually all the time. Otherwise, you're going to be prey to these instinctive reactions.
Yeah, see, when we try to overcome, say, anger, many times we don't even realize that we are getting angry. We have become one with anger. We burst out, we scream, shout, all that, maybe even turn to violence. And then afterwards realize, oh my goodness, I become a prey to anger. At least that's maybe the first step. Then you try to overcome that through your reasoning, your prayer, all that. And then maybe second time or third time, you fail so many times. But if you continue struggling to overcome that anger, then maybe after a few times, as you get angry, you become conscious that you're getting angry before you become one with anger. So it's a slow process.
Yes,
Slowly.
Yes, Bhagavad Gita is Bhagavan has said, Abhyasa idatu kaunteya
Yeah,
vairagya.
through practice,
It's
through
slow
practice.
process. It's not that one sunny morning when we go back from this bat and tomorrow our all the
Anger goes
attachment
on.
will be lost. It will be a slow process. Sorry to interrupt, but as a day-to-day routine activities of some females like me, or even I have seen here the James brothers, and they also cook on barbecue or something. When you are cooking, when you are doing some special dish, some gulab jam or some laddu or whatever root is in it, and if you expect that I did it, so today I did it from bottom of my heart. So I expect all that anger comes from the expectations. I expect that as a be like my granddaughter will say it's good thing, it's nice, and if at all they are coming on the dining table and they are so busy, they don't react on that. If I'm expecting, I will feel bad. I will feel depressed. And then I will, if at all it happens 2-3 times, I will, oh, I cook it so many times, I exert for 2 hours, and they don't even appreciate. That's anger. And if at all they appreciate, I get the ego.
Yes.
Ego. The both things are
Yeah.
day-to-day life. Maybe yes,
Yeah.
very short, but from our routine life also we should try that. Don't expect the reaction.
Hey, this is for not just when you sit for meditation or the prayer time. This is all through your life you have to practice, from morning till evening, all the waking hours you have to practice. And if you practice all this, the waking hours, then when you sit for meditation, it will be the mind settle down quicker. So that is why your meditation depends upon how you conducted yourself the rest of the time, other times of the day. We sit for half an hour and think that immediately our mind will calm down. It doesn't happen.
Other thing you mentioned, Gita is also about detachment, as I understand it. One is you are attached to things because you see good things only in that. Then you think of bad things also, that will help you to get detached from that object.
Yeah, good, bad things you try to avoid.
No, we think about that thing and bad aspect as well.
Yeah, everything has got good and bad
You
aspects.
think of bad aspect as well.
What are the bad sides? Then you won't feel so attached to it. See, young people feel like experimenting with smoking. Friend says, oh, it's a fine, it's a cool thing to do. You reason out what is the bad effects of it.
Mother, is there a spiritual definition of term attachment? When you talk about attachment, what does it actually do? Whether you do it physically or do it spiritually?
Attachment, what do you mean physically? It's getting stuck.
I mean, if you say detachment, that means you get things here and give it away. That's you attach to that and then as you give it away. Is that what it means, or is there a figurative expression or something a bit different?
It is not just giving it away. Because you don't need it, you give it away. That's not detachment. Detachment is something you need, but somebody has got a greater need. You are happy to give it. You are sacrificing. That is detachment.
So that's detachment.
That is detachment.
If it comes to me, if I have this and I say why, is it because I don't like it?
No, that's not detachment. No,
Based on values.
that's detachment. Yeah.
Yeah, so therefore it's very important that we understand
What is detachment? Yes.
What's the term detachment?
Detachment involves some sacrifice on our part. Otherwise, it is not detachment. Something which I don't like, I don't use. It is sitting there, I give it away. It's not detachment.
The same thing with giving things away with the expectation you
No.
get something in return in the future.
That is barter. It's not detachment. No, I give something, but I expect something back. Yeah. In the future, that's fine. Yeah. Not now, but in the future. Yeah. I give a present and then I expect sometime later a present back to me. Somebody lifted the hand at the back.
Talk about attachment and detachment in our spiritual life and in our learning of every day. Can you advise, and this is a very basic question, but to advise us why is attachment bad? Why is attachment bad in our spiritual life?
Because attachment causes disturbance or disturbs the mind. If there is less attachment, the mind will be less disturbed. And when the mind is disturbed, we cannot concentrate on the spiritual ideas. The mind will be completely disturbed. So less attachment, there will be less disturbance. That is why we speak so much about detachment.
Anthony, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
In our day life, we try to have this little bit of inner stability and try to proceed a little bit better.
A bit louder, bit louder.
This is about inner stability, and every day we try to practice inner stability, and hopefully we get a little bit progress. But then we have a lot of, and I'm not blaming people, but there's a lot of people that we interact with, and what we call, they have problems, and sometimes they suddenly throw all their problems, which I call passing the monkey from their shoulder to our shoulder. And this goes on in life. What skills do we need to develop to manage sometimes the people around us in our ability to continue in our interactions with family, interactions with friends, interactions with the passerby? How do you do that?
Yeah, people bring the problems to you, the troubles, the difficulties. You don't have to hold on to that. You can pass it all on to God. If you keep it with you, then it will be troubling you. You pass it on to God. Put everything at God's feet. God can absorb everything, all the shocks. Well, we may, that as they said about Holy Mother, the poison that we can't absorb, we are sending to Holy Mother, one of the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna said. Because the person whom they sent for initiation to Holy Mother was so wicked, so evil, had done so many evil deeds that Holy Mother refused to give initiation first. But then, of course, she gave it afterwards. So hearing about that Holy Mother refused, they said, the poison which would have killed us, we are sending to Holy Mother. We can give all the problems, whoever, whatever they bring to us, you send it everything to God. We don't, if you keep it with us, then we will be drowning. So pass it on all to God.
One question. The story about the snake hissing. And Swamiji said you shouldn't stop hissing. But I think people do know when you're really hissing and you come here to anger. So you have to sometimes bring in that little bit of anger in you to make it look real.
Yeah, you have to show your anger. Yeah. What they say is you show anger, but don't try to harm the person. When they say hiss, the snake is hissing, you think that the snake is going to bite you. So you won't go forward. But the snake was asked not to bite and put the venom in it. So in the same way, we are asked not to harm the person. Show that I am strong. I can strike you, I can hit you, but I'm withholding. I got strength. That is hissing.
But emotionally, you still have to feel it, otherwise it doesn't become real.
There you have to practice detachment. Because if you become emotionally upset, then that's going to harm you, not the other person. That's not going to harm the other person, but harm will be for you.
That even a child will understand. A mom is just acting, not real. But what I'm trying to say is, it's not real. You want it to not a good idea.
But why would you want it to be real if the child already understands that you are angry? But by making it real for you, what I'm understanding from what you're saying is you're not only trying to control the child, but you've also damaged your own energy levels by making it real. But if you can just do it enough to control them and then not feel attached to it, you would be better.
It means I'm not acting well.
Well, doesn't matter if you really are angry and you're deliberately so, but then you ensure, even in general, you decide when I really do need to get fully angry and be convincing, I will ensure that I will calm myself quickly afterwards.
That's not so easy, Robert. We can say all that, but when you become really angry, to calm down.
Well, I mean, angry enough to be that there's nobody second guessing.
Yeah, then to calm down, it takes time. Swamiji could do that. Swamiji could tear down the person and immediately calm down and continue with the talk. But ordinary people, it's hard. That's why when we reach the stage of inner stability, then you can do. But it's not so easy. You have to reach that stage.
Well, in the case of children, they are so smart.
They can do it, they can do it.
Smart.
Yeah.
So maybe your anger's not going to work anyway. You're going to have to kind of be the psychologist outside them.
You allow the children to detach from something they really like to have a little bit of time, and that's how they learn.
Yeah.
Typically days I did to my to my nephew when they were young, and you give them dinner and they refuse to eat or eat out and go on eat it. I say, okay, I'm not gonna force you. I'll keep this. Tomorrow morning, I'll take it out and you eat it until you finish it. You
Nothing
won't
more.
get anything else.
Yeah.
And they know that they are not going to get anything unless.
You finish it.
Tomorrow morning, I put a plate back there. And they have to eat it.
Yeah.
Because they are punished by themselves.
Yeah. See, and if children know how to manipulate parents, if the mother says something and they go to the father, and the father says something, they come to the mother. So both have to be strict, and you have to stick to the word. You say something and afterwards you don't follow it up, they know. Once you do that, they know how to manipulate. So we had to be very strict. One of our devotees in Sydney was telling, when she had two girls, when they were young, they were sitting in the back seat picked up from the school, going back and chatting and fighting at the back seat. She told them few times, keep quiet. No, they didn't. Then she said, once you reach there, you'll get be smacked. So by the time she reached home, her anger has gone. But because she has said she was smacked, she smacked them. You have to keep up the word. They should know when mom says no, it means no. Otherwise, they know how to manipulate. They're very, very, very strong.
You cannot do empty threats.
Yeah.
My motto was you always follow through with a promise and you always follow through with a threat.
Yeah.
Always.
Now it's all this. The best punishment will be taking away their phone, screen time, because everybody's glued to the screen.
Sometimes, when you're on the verge of starting to get angry, you are aware that it's not good for you, but you still get angry. In that instance, how do you stop yourself?
No, but that's a good, that's one step forward. Slowly, you will be able to stop even before you get angry. Because earlier you didn't even realize that you're getting angry. Then you realize that you're getting angry. Then halfway through you realize, then you'll be able to stop it. It goes step by step, slowly.
Realization is the first step. You can
Yeah.
understand at least you are
Getting
something
angry.
wrong.
Yes.
You've talked about, what to do in a new situation or how to handle a situation. But how to deal with the impact of whatever has happened in the past. How to move on from that so that it doesn't bother us or it doesn't trouble us that much.
Yeah, the memories from that past impressions come up. Then instead of reliving the whole thing, when it comes up, say, well, it has passed, it is past, it has happened, now it's past. I'm not going to worry about it anymore. And just ignore it, move forward. And in our discussion, one lady was saying, whatever disturbing thoughts comes like that, she imagined that's just a flower and offer it to Sri Ramakrishna. Put it at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna. There are we can imagine, have all these different imagination, whichever help. And in your meditation book, it says that thoughts are just like bubbles coming up and floating off. They pass the thoughts. But don't dwell on it. Because if you try to forget it, they only become stronger. Because I want to forget this, I want to forget it. That means you are remembering it again and again. They become stronger. Ignore it.
Was, sometimes you tell your mind, yes, I know, this has happened in the past. I don't want you to entertain me more.
Yes.
But that
But Mataji, if I think that something happened in the past, which it's going on maybe still now, if I want to correct it, which started in the past, there is no way to alter things.
It is past, it's gone. How can you change the what happened in the past? You cannot change it. You can change how we are going to do it in the future. That's all. As we said yesterday, we cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond to that, or how we feel about it, how we react to that. That is in our hand.
It is about some person that you by mistake you hurt them mentally or something. So you can say, if the person is lying, you can say, you can behave nicely, you can say sorry word is very good. And henceforth you behave in such a way that the person will realize that really her attitude is changed now, and he or she may forget whatever you did some misbehavior or whatever. you treated them, you didn't welcome them properly, but as per their expectations.
All right, I think we might need to wind up.
Bit
the
of some
people needing to,
meditation.
They need to
Go.
move for.
uh,
Wow.
But they already left.
Just